Welcome to my channel. Let's see where Nifty and Bank Nifty will move tomorrow, what strategy we need to apply, what we can expect from the market. Friends, today if we see into the Nifty and Bank Nifty charts, like we have seen a very big gap down because of the war and other bad news, other bad global news, and we opened a 500 points of a gap up. And somewhere at these points you can notice like the buyer has came, not once, not twice, a little bit below like thrice and 4 times. Like there's a very clear indication like there is a buyer in the market, even though there is a seller. The seller is selling, but still there is a buyer who is lifting the bids. So that is very clear indication like even the price goes down, it is going to come at a higher levels. So this was an early clue for me. Like, so once it broken here, you would have initiated your trade, and somewhere like 100-200 points you would have taken your profit. And you can notice later at this point the price has bounced back, and it gave us a second opportunity to short the market. So this was a second opportunity for us to enter into the shorts. As you can notice, like the buyer has lifted once or twice. That means he wants to sell more from a higher levels. He doesn't want to sell at a lower and lower price. He wants to sell at a higher and higher price itself. So this was a very clear indication like you would have entered the short and you would have enjoyed like nearly 200-300 of a points of a profit. So net to net, like good amount of a selling has taken place in the market. Big time frame players, they've entered into the market and they sold very aggressively. So there are two parameters. Like one thing is the global crisis, and second thing, like today is an expiry. To the expiry, there will be a large amount of a margin calls will be there to clear the margin and to renew the futures and options. The big time frame players, they sell the market very aggressively, and the market might consolidate or it might bounce back. So what we can expect from tomorrow's market? So if you look into the structural format, like the Bank Nifty is looking very much weak. So where we might find the support for the Bank Nifty? So we'll just go into the daily time frame. If you look into the daily time frame, like I've clearly mentioned you once, I mentioned I think you can notice there is a M pattern which has been forming in the market, the M pattern, and these highs are coming lower and lower levels. So I was expecting this big move, and it has happened today. So what should be a fair value? The fair value should be somewhere like 15,900 to 15,600. So this should be a fair value. The price has to come within this range, and later it has to accumulate, and then it has to auction either higher or lower levels. It all depends on the big time frame players, like what they are thinking. So I would say like if the market opens flat, just a second, I'll take you at a 5 minutes time frame. Okay. So if the market opens flat, we'll be looking to sell the market, and first target should be like 16,000 levels. And if 16,000 levels crosses, we'll be looking to 15,900 and 15,800 level. If you see a big gap up, and if price starts to go higher, just avoid the market for some time, because it might take resistance somewhere here and it might bounce back. I'm seeing like there's not much of a profit booking has happened, so we might see a gap down, and profit booking might go at a higher levels. So when the price is coming down and when it is back bidding at higher levels from 16,000, you can position yourself and you can target up until 16,300. If the market is opening a big gap up, again it will be sold into, you can target up until 16,300 levels. There's still a negative sentiment which has been flowing in the market. So be on a selling side itself, and first target always should be like 16,000 round figure, and if it crosses like 15,900 and 15,800 will be a ideal for a profit booking. So we'll go into the Bank Nifty chart. Bank Nifty is very much interesting, and I'll be discussing you like why the Bank Nifty is very much interesting rather than the Nifty. So I'll go into the Bank Nifty chart. Bank Nifty was very much interesting today. So I gave you 3 calls. The first call was the stop loss which got triggered, and the second one which gave nearly 300 points, and fourth call which gave nearly like around 500 to 600 points if you have holded, or if you have booked like 100-200 points would have been ideal for you. You can notice something interesting is like you can notice like as soon as the market opened nearly 1000 points gap down, the quick profit booking has came in the Bank Nifty, and the buyer was interested, the buyer was interested, the buyer was interested. What was the reason for the buyer was interesting, like 37,000. I'll explain you in the structural format. There was a back bidding, and I was expecting like the price to go higher and to take somewhere like support was 36,700. What is the reason behind for that? I'll explain you in the structural format. So I was expecting this call because you can notice there is a Poland flag, and I've even noticed like good amount of a buying was coming. So I was expecting this move to go at a higher levels, but what had happened, like the seller was there and seller started to bid each and every price. So somewhere at this point I said you to buy like a put option of 36,500 for 350 rupees, and which gave us a very good profit of 620. So later if you notice like in the bank nifty, so in the bank nifty like the seller just disappeared, and short term profit booking came, and market started to rotate at a lower and lower prices. And if you notice like not much amount of a buying was coming, a little bit of selling and a little bit of buying. No one is interested to buy the bank nifty even though it was at a discounted price. But somewhere at this point I've noticed like there was an amount of buying was coming, so I thought like it might backbid at a higher levels. But later I realized no, there was nothing was coming, and everything was flashing lower and lower levels. So it was like selling has started in the market. This was a stop run. Most people would have thought like it's a trend reversal, but it's not a trend reversal, it is a stop loss, which helps us to trigger the stops. And this was your second entry where you would have entered here and shorted the market very aggressively. So net to net, like not big amount of a selling has taken place in the bank nifty. Like you can notice like very small amount of a selling has taken place in the bank nifty. The buyer was supporting the market, and this is like just the shorts got triggered into the market. So we'll go into the structural format and see what was the reason behind of that one. I'll just take you at a structural format of a 1 day time frame. Well, so this is a 36,500 levels. I would say like 36,700. So here you can notice whenever the price came at these levels, like 36,700 these levels, once the buyer has bought here, second time the buyer has bought here, third time the buyer has bought here, fourth time, fifth and six times the buyer has bought from here at these levels. He started to accumulate and he started to auction higher and higher prices. So what was interesting, like whenever the price goes and touch to the 36,700, the people who bought here, they start to sell because they don't want to sell at a loss. So they'll be selling at a averaging price, or they'll be selling at like cost to cost price. They don't want to sell because they are the big time frame players. They might be buying like thousands of contracts. So they'll be selling whenever the price goes at these levels. For averaging price, they starts to sell. So 36,700 will be a key resistance for us for some more time, because once, twice, thrice, 4, 5, 6 times the buyer has supported the market. That means whenever the price is going here, he will definitely sell. He'll keep selling up until his orders has been finished. Once his orders has been finished, then only the market will go higher levels. Up until then, the market is not going to go above 36,700 levels. That will be a very, very, very key resistance for us. We have to watch very carefully. So if you look like 35,000 levels here, 35,000 levels, there was a good amount of accumulation. Once, twice, thrice, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9th day it got broken out, and there was auctioning at a higher levels. So the price came here, and first time the big institutions, they booked a little bit of a profit. So we might see a different direction. So I'll take you at a 5 minutes time frame. So before taking a 5 minutes time frame, tomorrow what we can expect from the market. So one of two things will happen tomorrow. The first probability is like the market opens either a flat or gap down, and it goes below like 34,500, and it will auction at a higher and higher levels. That means like the people who have sold from here to here, they'll open a big gap down and they'll start to book the profit. The averaging profit will be like 35,000 to 34,500 to 35,000 levels. That is the first probability. The second probability is like the market opens little bit flat and it starts to auction higher, and it will start to book the profits. That means we'll be having an inside candle tomorrow. So there are two probabilities. First probability is like open a gap down or a flat and flushing down and booking the profit. And second probability is like either a gap up and sustaining at a higher levels and getting out of the weak minds from the market. So two probabilities are must. These are the only two probabilities which I am seeing in the market. Apart from that, there are no other probabilities. So please trade accordingly. Remember, if it is opening flat or gap down, and if it is flushing down, and whenever it is taking support like 34,500, 600, 700, 800, and if it is back bidding, then you can buy the market and you can target up until 35,000. 35,200, 300 levels. But if it is opening a gap up and if it is sustaining a gap up, wait for a retracement and buy the market, and you can target up until 35,500 levels. So these are the two probabilities which I am seeing in the market, which I am seeing in the bank nifty especially. So you can plan or trade accordingly. I hope you like my video. If so, please do subscribe my channel and share as much as possible to your friends. And if you like this video, please subscribe and press the like button as well. Thank you so much.